But I've always got my eyes open, man. But I kind of got enough headaches right now. I bought an American 50s car, a Chrysler. I've got the trucks.
You bought, is it a 300 you bought?
I bought a 300B Chrysler.
It's red, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
You've seen it around?
No, I've seen you driving it on your Instagram. And how does that drive?
Yeah.
What's it like to, because those things are gorgeous, man. They look great.
Huge boat, American car. If you know your NASCAR history, there it is, man.
Yeah.
It won. So that's same car, same color. That one was at an auction elsewhere. That's a really high dollar restoration, but same car as that effectively. And always wanted one. It's my favorite 50s American car is that. And my dad and I have always liked those. That's the car that originated with the Hemi in it, right? So it actually won NASCAR, a big, huge barge like that won NASCAR in 55 and 56.
Yeah, when they brought the 300 back, I remember Chrysler or Dodge like using that in the marketing, and it was like, and then they drove one, old one, new one, and all that stuff. All right.
Yep. Anyway, 300, and then those were called the letter cars, right? It goes all the way A, B, C, D, F, G, all the way into the 60s, of a bunch of big Hemis in big sort of that was their version of a sports sedan, right? They had the more sort of banker's car, and then that was like the sport model with the Hemi in it.
The good
so
road
anyway,
trip
it was
that thing.
Super cool car. Drives like you're sitting on a couch with a bunch of one finger power steering, power windows. It's got a power bench seat that goes back and forth.
The whole bench.
The whole bench.
That's
across the front.
awesome. Oh, it looks good in black. Looks very
Black's
good in black.
Yep, that's a 55 with a slightly different little tail fin on
Right,
it.
a little bigger fin.
Super. It's got a push button transmission. You push these big like refrigerator buttons on the dash that switch between the automatic gears.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, weird car, right? A lot of people are like, Randy, is that your dad's car, or what's going on? What are you doing with that thing? And I was like, I'm into variety, and I'm kind of trying to check some boxes of like the coolest cars that I've always wanted. And so rolled that thing in here, and it actually almost fits between these posts. Kind of weave it in here. We've had it in here a couple times, and 50s American is a cool category. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. But then, then I'll probably sell that eventually and move on to something else. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly the car.
I mean, nothing feels like these cars. I mean, they do, but you're not going to buy something new-ish that feels anything like those, sounds like them. Just the interior design that they were able to get away with, because it was so dangerous looking back on it. But man, I mean, like the shift columns with a bubble in it to show what gear you're in, and just amazing rounded metal for all the gauges. I mean, everything you touch feels really cool. Yeah, all the jet age stuff is the shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
love that whole Motorama era of GM, and like this is great. I think if I was going 50s for me, it's got to be a Continental.
Yeah.
I think I have to be have you ever driven a Continental?
I have not. You mean the Mark II, the 1 year only? Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like that would be the competitor to your 300, kind of.
It's it's similar. Big engine.
Dash. Are those the buttons, those enormous buttons across the top of the dash there?
I love that you're finding these pics, Zach. That's like exactly my dash. That's the brightest brake indicator light I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's really aggressive.
Not that bright. But those switches up there, man, you feel like you're like in a 747. They're like clunk, 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 clunk.
And is that like a record player under the dash right there?
Funny that you say that. In this car, I don't have that option. But in that car, what you see there is a record player.
I love that they used to do that. So great.
Awesome.
You'd have to have a real floaty suspension because you've got a record in there.
You can't skip the needle, right? Yeah, you can't scratch the.
That's hilarious.
The records.
That's hilarious. What a great car.
It's cool. You should come see it. Plenty of room in it. It's a ton of fun.
What are the different materials on the steering wheel rim?
Good question. So it's got oh man, I know we can go deep on this if you want to go deep.
Well, the steering wheel's got like 3 different colors on the rim. What am I?
No, but go back to
at?
the previous one. That's a 55. That's not what you want. You want a 56.
That's mislabeled.
You just had.
The one you just had.
Boom.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the exact dash and steering wheel that I have. So those chrome things on the side are where you put your thumbs. So those are for your thumbs. You're not supposed to drive at 10 and 2. You're supposed to drive at 4
Underhand.
and 8.
That's like gangsters drive.
Yes.
Like a modern
And
Phantom.
then-
where the fingerprints are.
And then there's those finger pads, and the white part is like this. It's called Bakelite, I think, or I don't know what it is.
Bakelite. Yeah. They used
But
it in
it's
watches
down
in the
there.
50s and 60s too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you hold your hands down there, and then the black rim all the way around, and then the horn. It's got a horn on it that sounds like it's like a tugboat, right? Like
good.
you hit it, and it's like train horn.
It's fantastic.
Anyway, it's cool. We ought to ship it down and put it at West Side
Please.
Electric Car Storage.
Oh, please. It would look fantastic.
But it's 19 feet long, dude. How long are your spots?
How long's the wheelbase?
I don't know.
I got
Probably
my
most of
limit
that.
is a 15-foot wheelbase.
The rear overhang is about 7 feet. It feels like.
Yeah,
I don't know
you'd
what
be
it is.
okay. The wheelbase is more important than the overall length because the lifts are spaced apart.
I put it on my lift. This lift back here with the Volvo on it, like the
Okay.
Chrysler goes up on that lift.
Cool. Yeah, no, it'll fit. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Anyway,
next
it'd
time
just be
you-
a cool car to mob around in
Oh
down
my
in
God,
LA.
it's
It'd be
gorgeous.
perfect.
I love it.